Thanks everyone for everything. I'm so grateful. This community that has built around Mac and Creeps. I know my subscriber count is low, but there's still just a community. There's like a brotherhood here. Like I've talked to a lot of people who are watching and listening to this stuff, and they're curious, and I've gotten a lot of support from you guys. And I thank you all so much for everything. Thanks for coming back every week and watching the next segment. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. I'm going to read the experience from the prologue of book 2. But if you just want to jump straight to where last week left off, I'll put the timestamp on the screen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the prologue of book 2. My girlfriend and I eventually moved into our own apartment. Life has been normal for a while. I still wake up in the night feeling rough sometimes. The feeling makes me suspicious. I wonder if the entities are coming more often than I'm aware. I wonder if I have finally gotten to the point of being comatose when they come. After all, I did watch the aliens do several things to my family, and they were none the wiser. Is it far-fetched to think that maybe my immunities to the aliens' comatose serum has worn, only allowing me to be awake during their visits on a hit-and-miss basis? I have no way of knowing anything for sure. You might think I would appreciate not experiencing every visit. I must say I did have some appreciation for not being terrorized every night, but it still left a lot of questions for me. A deep void inside me, filled with mystery. I was always getting out of bed with paranoia in the night. A feeling of panic and anxiety would often wash over me. I would have no explanation for these feelings. It wasn't like I would wake from a bad dream. It was more like my body was calming down from an adrenaline-filled experience, an experience that I had no recollection of. I would often excuse myself to another room, checking my body for any signs of experimentation. My girlfriend by this time was aware of my connection to the unknown. She never had any comment on the subject. As far as she was concerned, the topic was not to be broached in her presence. I have found that a handful of people seem to be afraid of hearing about my experiences, acting like a child wanting to avoid a horror film. I don't know if my girlfriend was afraid or not. I just know she was adamant about not hearing any details about my other life. Whenever I did wake up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., I could rarely fall back to sleep. I would almost always wait for the clock to roll past 4 before returning to bed. I would often watch TV or just pace my room. I just couldn't feel at ease until the entity's time window had passed. It was a little refreshing to go from being terrorized almost nightly to just a hit-and-miss basis. But the long stretch of having few encounters would abruptly end. I don't know if my actions caused the alien encounters to pick back up. I just remember things had started getting a little better. Then the aliens finally slipped up, causing me to react instinctively. My girlfriend and I both work day shift. We usually stay up until around 11 at night before going to bed. This particular night was an ordinary weeknight. All the lights in the 2-story apartment are off, excluding the bathroom light. I've convinced my girlfriend I need the light in case I use the restroom in the night. A faint glow coming under the bedroom door is better than no light at all. We go to sleep in our room upstairs. I wake up for no apparent reason. I'm lying on my stomach with my face resting on my arm. I lift my head from my arm to give the room a quick scan. The street light shining through the window and the glow from under the door provide enough light to satisfy my curiosity. Once I see there is no threat in the room, I situate myself closer to my girlfriend. She is lying flat on her back. Her head is resting on her pillow. I rest my leg over her legs to get comfortable. Then I throw my arm over her torso. I'm surprised when the back of my hand hits something soft. It feels like I just hit my girlfriend's arm, but my hand is around her arm. My girlfriend's right arm is on the edge of the bed with my hand wrapped around it, but I feel another arm against the back of my hand. I release my girlfriend's arm and wrap my hand around the arm next to hers. I am beyond confused at this point. I have also just woken up from a deep sleep, adding to the confusion. I move my hand up and down the second arm. As I move my hand along the mysterious arm, my thumb is between it and my girlfriend's arm. Sliding my hand up the strange arm, I reach what feels like a shoulder. I finally realize the extra arm is attached to something crouching beside the bed. The arm seems to be wrapped in a silk-like sleeve. I move my hand back down the arm, stopping at its bent elbow. I'm certain this thing has been crouched down, hoping I am half asleep. I'm sure this thing has been banking on me mistaking his arm for my girlfriend's. It moves slowly, pulling downward, trying to escape my grasp. With a knee-jerk reaction, I reach further down, catching the elbow area of the mysterious arm. I grasp the arm tight as it jerks frantically to get free. I'm filled with adrenaline and shock. After all these years, I finally got the tiger by its tail, and I am not giving up without a fight. While holding on to the beam with my left hand, I push myself up from the bed with my right. I am being pulled off the bed as I try to climb over my girlfriend. I see the entity for the first time. He is leaned away from the bed. He has his right leg behind him, pushing his foot against the box springs for leverage. The bed is just a mattress and box spring lying on the floor. Its low proximity is probably why the entity couldn't avoid my arm in the first place. I finally get my left foot to the floor. I'm straddling my girlfriend at this point. I scream for her to wake up and get no response. I look down at her face. There's not enough light to tell if her eyes are open. I'm easily overpowering the entity, but I'm still alone, and that scares the hell out of me. While struggling with the entity, I reach my hand behind my girlfriend's neck. I pull her face up to mine and scream her name. Wake up! There's still no response from her. I remove my hand from behind her neck, and she falls back to her pillow. You son of a bitch! I yell as I jerk my head to face the entity. I have him by his wrist now. He is still trying to push off the box springs with his right foot. He is down on his left knee, with his left hand scratching at the carpet. He is trying to get to the closet, or away from me. I can't tell for sure. I'm looking at the back of his big, egg-shaped head. The room is lit well enough to see, but I can't tell if his skin is gray or blue. He has on a gray jumpsuit, but the fabric is shiny. A shimmer comes off the suit, making it look silver. I throw my right leg over my girlfriend. With both feet on the floor now, I swing my right arm around, grabbing the entity's wrist with my right hand. I have him with both hands now. I watch for a moment while he struggles. I don't know what to do now. I look up towards the closet. It consists of 2 large mirrors for doors. I see the alien's face for the first time. His forehead is wrinkled from straining or rage. I can't tell. I'm suddenly frozen with dread. All it takes is one look at those giant black egg-shaped eyes. My grip loosens. I've been struck by what I can only explain as PTSD. Memories of my life experiences flash in front of my eyes. I sense the little gray realizes this, because he swings his head around to face me. The moment I look into his eyes, I release his wrist. I just stand still and watch him run to the closet door. He runs right through the mirror. The big hanging door shakes as he passes through. A blast of blue light comes from around the edges of the closet door. I hear a popping sound as the light fades. Suddenly, footsteps are running across the roof. After standing in the middle of my room for a few minutes, I gather enough composure to go downstairs. I sit on the couch, pondering everything that just happened. I know this is an experience I will never be able to tell anyone, not because my pride has been wounded. I could care less about that. I can't tell anyone about this event because people believe my experiences. I don't want to lose the trust people have in me. By telling those same people a story I would have a hard time believing myself. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this video. I might have put the entire prologue in here. So, I've just had such a horrible time trying to redo this audio this morning. I mean, it has taken hours to record this short amount of audio. So, I really need to figure out something about this. Like, I don't know what to do. I need a place where I can record. Once I record the audio, it takes me hours to edit the audio once I record it. I would like to talk about, I know last week, I can't really remember what all I talked about last week, but once again, reading this week, I kind of wanted to talk about the waking up thing. So, when I would wake up and I would feel this intense anxiety, like I was coming down from this adrenaline, what I was very suspicious of. Did I just experience something, but it was wiped from my memory? So my body was still feeling the residual effects of having an encounter with these entities, except now when they left, I would be still shaken from the experience. That's what I meant by that. And I really want you guys to take note of the whole mirror incident, the entity going into the mirror. This is going to play a huge role later on when we get into the truth about things. And I don't know if you guys notice, I've been noticing with the new Matrix trailer, they are really showing off the mirrors in the new Matrix trailer. Mirrors play a very big part in all of this. I cover my mirrors while I sleep. The mirror in my room, I cover it while I sleep. But it's just pay attention to the mirrors, ladies and gentlemen. We got one more book, and then I'm gonna start revealing everything that I believe. Wow, guys. So, you know, I didn't know what to do. Like, what would have even happened if I had gotten my girlfriend to wake up? It was always strange for me to think about after I touched these entities, right? You know, I never washed my hands or anything. I went and I sat on the couch and I thought about how I just had my hands on this entity. And you know, when I'm telling my stories, keep in mind when I'm telling my stories, I'm telling them in the state of mind that I was in then. I'm telling you guys about this as my beliefs then. What I believed there. Like, when I went downstairs and I sat on the couch thinking about this, which, you know, I don't recall for sure, but I'm pretty sure that night I never lay back down. I never went back to sleep. But anyways, I thought about that. I thought, should I wash my hands? I was like, what, you know, do I got radiation on me or something now that I touch these things? Because there was like this feeling to me that it was taboo to put my hands on these entities. Like I should never touch them. You know, I had both hands wrapped around this entity. This is this experience seems like what might have happened with, the video of the super tall brown, right? They're right there. These two stories, the super tall brown I told recently, a couple weeks ago. And now here I am talking about what might have been if it hadn't have been the giant brown. It's just so weird. It was so weird to wake up. I threw my arm over her, and I was like, I felt another arm beside her. You know, her arm was up against my chest. Her right arm out there, there were two arms, you know. And we talk about this in book 2 later on, I'm pretty sure, but I got video of an entity crouched down beside her years later, and she refused to watch it. I showed it to my family, I showed it to some of her family, but she refused to watch it. She might have seen a still frame of it, but it was so freaky to her, she refused to watch it, and she just denied it. But the thing is I'm not sure, like, I'm going to have to revisit that. I'm pretty sure I talked about it in the book, that I can't give explicit details on that experience until I get to book 3. See, in book 3, like, we're going to go back through all of these experiences, and I'm going to be saying, well, this was this, and that was that, you know. But right now, I want everybody to experience all these events like I did, and I want everybody to experience the awakening the same as me. When I pulled the curtain back and I was in denial about stuff, I want everybody to experience that the same as I did. And that's why every chapter I talk, I stay in that state of mind that I was in back then. I just want to say before I end this video that I'm at my wit's end. I've been battling the powers that do not want me to share this information, and I'm just so exhausted from it. I'm so exhausted. I've come so close to giving up a couple times. I'm so exhausted. Today's been one of the biggest battles ever to try and record the audio for one of these videos. As of right now, I'm just going to keep on fighting the good fight and see what happens. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks everyone. Sorry if there's any audio problems today. It's been just the worst ever. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Mac and Creeps. Aliens, monsters, and the supernatural. A true story of a terrorized life.